What's going on YouTube? This is Andre, Classic Cuts with another video. I have my friend Justin here. Me and us, we both went to the same high school. Like, we go way back, bro. We took electronics class together. It's crazy.
We did.
So like, from now, we're basically gonna go over actually working inside of a shop. Like, he actually in barber school right now. And as y'all know, like, I'm in engineering school. I'm not in barber school, so I don't know what it's like to actually be a barber and go to barber school. So he basically gonna give us like the update on like what's going on out here, the prices out in Texas. Just give us the full-blown update.
Let's get it. What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Justin here, aka Millennial Cuts. Follow me on Instagram at Millennial Cuts. Basically, all I'm gonna be doing is just explaining the ins and outs of barber school. I'm a barber student. I attend Franklin Barber Institute right off Highway 6 and La Catrine here in Houston, Texas. A business with no sign means no sign of business. And a cheap haircut ain't good, and a good haircut ain't cheap. It's your boy Millennial Cuts here. And before I started barber school, I didn't really know what it was that I was getting into. It was really just something I decided I was just wanted to take the next step into my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't even know how I was going to get there. And then I started barber school. I enrolled. I just said, I'm just going to pay some money and then see where this goes. So I enrolled. A day after I enrolled, they taught me how to shave. A week after that, they taught me how to properly maintain my clippers, how to hold my clippers, and how to cut hair. The average price is between $20 $25 for a haircut. This is Juicy J. I asked him how much he pays for a haircut. He said his personal barber pays, he pays $65 for a haircut. Takashi69, I know his barber. Shout out to, I can't think of his name. Shout out to Takashi's barber. Can't think of his name right now, but I know he charges $160 for a haircut. So that just goes to show the different ranges, you know, what a barber can offer. Because if you have something that someone wants, they're gonna pay whatever whatever you're offering. Tools, what you're investing in, it's also a big key. These are all my babies right here, and I take care of every single one of my clippers as if they are tools, because they are tools. A mechanic needs his wrenches, and a barber needs his clippers.
So since you're like starting off at the barbering school, like how much is like the service or like just to get a cut from somebody if you don't even have a license, or you just not learning how to cut? Like how much will you charge?
Well, at the barber school, they charge $5 for the haircut.
Okay.
And based on whether or not the client actually likes the cut or not, or if they just don't feel like it, they don't have to tip. But 9 times out of 10, the client is usually going to tip the barber just in gratitude for the services.
So like, what about the clippers? Do you pay for your own clippers, or like do the shop or the actual school, they give you like some clippers out the gate? Like, how did that work?
The school, just like any other school, starts off with a school supply list. You can either order them through the school or you can go out and order them yourself. I went ahead and ordered everything myself. I spent each and every single dollar I had just to invest in these tools. And these aren't even all the tools that I have, but I know that once I invest in these tools, they are a lifetime investment.
Yeah.
I want to say these were about 120, these were 60, these were 100, these were 75. And if you know what these clippers are, you know that these are the same clippers that Supreme put their little logo on. The same clippers, they do the same thing. Stop being a hype beast spending $200 on clippers, please. $75 to get you the exact same clipper. And my edgers here, these are my babies. These were actually hand-me-down from my father. Shout out to Pops. He's a barber as well. Barber legacy going on in the family.
All right, real quick, can you just like go through the names of each individual clipper that you got?
Yes, sir. We want to start with these outliners. These are the Andis T outliners, the Model Gs.
Classic.
These are the classics. Everyone should have a pair of these. Next, we got the Andis Envies LIs. Like I mentioned before, these are the Supreme clippers from Andis. These are the original clippers. Do not spend $200 on a clipper.
How much are those? You said 70?
These are 75. You can get these right offline for $75 straight from Andis website.
Got you.
These are the OGs, Andis Masters. These were 85 for me.
Yeah.
We got the Wall Magic clips here.
Yeah.
The goal is to go as cordless as possible.
Salute.
And over here, we got the Oster Classic 76s, detachable clippers. invest in your tools. Make sure you're investing in your tools because you are investing in yourself. These will only ever mess up if you mess them up. So take care of your clippers and they will take care of you.
So what's like the best like perks of being in a barber school? Like, is there anything that you get like free or anything, or?
Oh man, the perks about being a barber student or just being a barber in general is it has so many shows and events that you should be attending that everyday people like you and me, we can just be attending. People who work here, people who just on the street. If you go to a barber event, you see so many different things that are going on in the barber world. Like clippers, like cordless clippers, these are the next big things.
Yeah.
Competing barber battles. For example, doing a fast fade, how fast you can do your best blend, how fast you can do a design, how well you can do a design. Really intricate things like that, things that we do on a daily basis, but when you put that competition element, you know, it's kind of like high schoolers, they're cheerleaders, there's football players, and when they compete against each other, it's fun, it's competitive, and at the end of the day, you're only doing it just so you can make yourself a little bit better.
Gotcha.
Now that you know that you have something like competition underneath your belt and you've competed, or you're going to compete, you build a little bit more confidence within yourself, and you just want to start doing more things within your industry.
So like, how many competitions would you say kind of like your barber school put you on to? Because I never even heard of any really, except online.
My school actually hosted 3 barber battles.
Oh, snap.
Shout out to Franklin. There's the Bronner Brothers, one of the biggest barber events that happens in the country. There's a couple that happen all around the country that I'm not I don't know about yet. I'm still kind of growing into it. But the big names like the Bronner Brothers, that usually happens once a year. Just keep a lookout for the different events and different things that your barber industry is offering, because there's so many different things.
Cool. Bro, I'd never seen this in my life. Alright, so like, how much do you think it'll actually cost to start a barbershop from scratch?
Alright, I think that to start a barbershop from scratch
In Texas.
You should at least have saved between $15,000 and $20,000.
Yeah.
And that's depending on whether or not you want to build your own spot or if you want to rent or lease an area. And that usually, it mainly comes from when you're starting up a shop, you want to have enough for chairs, for the interior, for signs, and being able to hold your own if you can't build up clientele. So you could easily have a nice, really nice, exquisite looking barbershop.
Yeah.
You could be the only one cutting in it, trying to get some barbers in there, but not get any clients at all. So let's say you saved up your $15,000, invested it all into the shop, and you have $0 to your name.
Yeah.
You're not getting any clients. What's the point of it?
Gotcha.
Right? So you want to have some money to hold your own for a little bit, just in case you can't expand your clientele, or just in case you can't market yourself too well. Because that's the key, being able to market yourself, learning how to market, and also the area. There's many different types of barbershops. As we know, a part of the industry, there are hood barbershops that have low booth rent.
Yeah.
That just get a lot of clients, mostly walk-ins because they're familiar with the area. Then we have our high-end barbershops that are paying, you're going to be paying between $115 to $185 for booth rent on the higher end.
A week, right?
Yep, between $115 to $185 a week. So you got to be able to get those clients in and out, save your money, and put your money aside, so that way when it's time to pay booth rent, you get that out the way as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And then you get back on your grind.
How much would you say is like an average price in Texas for like a booth rent?
I would say the average price for booth rent is about $130 to $150.
All right.
So try and get between 8 to 10 heads a day. If you can cut between 8 to 10 heads a day in a barbershop for 5 days a week, you do the math at $25 a head.
Gotcha.
Put it in the comments below and let me know what those numbers look like. And that's just haircuts alone.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects to barbering. There's facials, there's shaves, there's manicures. There's so many different things that people are getting done nowadays. There are people who are going bald. They're getting hair pieces put in, and a service for that goes between $150 to $250.
Yeah.
Because you're paying the person's going to be paying for a hair piece. That's not expensive. That's very expensive because you have to actually go out and make the hair piece for the specific client. There's also another type of barbershop that that people are familiar with. They're commission based, kind of like your franchises, your V's, your Supercuts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where you're not paying booth rent, but you're getting paid based off commission between 25 to 45% of the business that you're bringing in.
Gotcha.
I plan on starting out at a V's or a Supercuts, a retail shop, because I want to expand my clientele. I want to learn what they have to offer me, and I'm still getting a paycheck, 35 to 45%, and also I have a side hustle. And that's another key to being able to market and expand yourself. You have to have multiple different streams of income, not only as a barber but as a businessman, because that's how you become rich. Being able to have many different streams. Because let's say this balloon goes, I still have 2 more that I can pull on and pull money from, and then build back on top of my 3rd.
Gotcha.
All right, so the owner of my school, shout out to Mr. Ron. Once him and I had a conversation, I asked him, if he had ever even cut hair. He said he does cut hair, and I asked him, does he still cut hair? He says no. But he owns a barber school, so I wanted to know, do you have to know what it takes to own a barber school, or do you have to know what it takes to be a part of the barber industry? And it's good to know, it's good to get your feet wet and be a part of the industry, but you don't necessarily have to. You do have to work towards that. His family's been a part of the industry for years now, 100+ years, and they've done incredible things. But the one thing that I take away from it is, one, it's all about business, being able to expand your business, creating a name for yourself.
You say he don't cut at all, right? He just shows into the school?
Doesn't cut at all. He only handles the managerial aspect of the school.
Got you.
The ins and outs of who's coming into the school, who's coming out, the people that are in the school, what are they putting out. The interview process to get into the school is also pretty ridiculous, because that's when he's getting a feel for you, whether or not he wants you in your school or whether or not he just wants your money. It's all about knowing that you have what it takes from the jump.
Got you. So like, how's the interview process? I never even heard about an interview process in a barbershop. I thought you just go in if you had the money.
So for barber school, it's a little different versus a barber shop. For my barber school interview, he asked me 3 questions. I don't remember what the second and third question was, but the first question he asked me is why I wanted to attend his school. I didn't know why I wanted to attend the school, but really I did, and it was because, one, it was close and it was convenient.
Gotcha.
I hadn't really done my research on the other schools, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I know that this school would offer me something that I couldn't really go elsewhere and get. The school brought me together as a family. The school has brought us together as a family, but also as an individual, it's helped me grow a lot.
Yeah. Good. So like, how many hours do you need to be officially get your license in the state of Texas?
In the state of Texas, you need 1,500 hours, classroom hours, in order for you to get your license. And after those hours are accumulated, you have to take 2 tests. You have to take your written test after 1,000 hours. You have to take your practical test after 1,500 hours. So once you complete your barber's course, you take your practical course. I went ahead and took my written test. Once I hit 1,000 hours, passed it my first try. The only advice I could give you for that is before you go into the test, from day 1 all the way up until you hit your 1,000-hour mark, pay attention. Everything that the instructors say, they're trying to drill into your head. It's because it is on the test. You will see it on the test. And the differences are in the details, the words that they use, how they're being used in the sentence, knowing the difference between tools and utensils, knowing the difference between a clipper and a shear, knowing the difference between how to fade and how to blend, etc. Different things like that.
What's a question that like you'll never forget? Like, that's one question kind of like tripped you up sometime, but like you knew it.
One question that always trips me up is in barber school they teach you how to shave, right? Yeah. They teach you shaving strokes and shaving positions. There are 14 shaving positions. There are 4 shaving strokes. 14. So when I took my written test, they asked me how many shaving strokes are there, and the answer choices were 6, 4, 3, and 14. Out of the answer choices, I picked 4. Yeah. Because there are only 4. There's freehand. Freehand is when you're shaving downwards.
Got you.
Backhand when you're facing is when the blade is going away from you.
Got you.
Reverse freehand and reverse backhand are the only shaving strokes that you will be doing from behind the client. I can't demonstrate them because I don't have a client to properly demonstrate.
It's cool.
But day one, they teach you this in barber school. At least at my school, they taught me that day one. So that way, by the time I do get to my 1,500 hour practical tests, I can go ahead and get it in, knock it out as quick as I can, and get my barber's license, because that's the whole point of being in school, is to get your license and get the heck out of there.
So do they go over the questions like every day, or like they just go over piece by piece, like certain sections of the test today, certain sections tomorrow?
In barber school, we actually, the first 2 hours of class are lecture.
Oh, okay.
We go over whatever chapter it is, the history of barbering, knowing where barbering even came from, all the way up into when you're getting out, the management side of barbering. Once you actually know how to professionally be a barber, how to take care of business, how to get into a shop, how to stay in a shop, because that's the key. Once you're in a shop, you gotta stay there, you gotta build, you gotta maintain, and then once you're there, then you grow. And that's all barber school teaches you. Teach you the ins and outs, the beginning to end. And you can always rely on the book no matter what. There's so many things within the barber book, the Malati book, that they teach you. You can always go back on, always look, and there's so many different techniques in there that never change.
Gotcha.
All right, bro. So like, how much is barber school? Like, what's the price? How do you go about paying it? Is it like paid through weekly or monthly, or how does that work?
So barber school tuition is kind of like regular college tuition. I've never gone to college, but I know that tuition for me was $4,500. So and I paid in installments. I paid $300 a month, and as the more and more I went throughout barber school and I advanced in my payments, I realized that I was actually getting better. Closer to around the time that I was done paying, I felt like it was more of a relief off of me. It was less stress that I had to worry about, and I was more so focusing on getting it paid off, because there's a discipline, like I mentioned before. There's a discipline when it comes to being a barber, and paying that stuff as soon as you get the money and worry about everything else afterwards is the key. Also, when you're coming out of barber school, there's no guarantee that you're gonna be in a shop. There's no guarantee that you're gonna be cutting hair. So it's good to, while you're still in school, go sit down in some barbershops, go sweep, go even get a haircut in some of the shops, and talk to the owners, talk to some of the barbers, let them know like what's going on, what the situation is, because everyone has to start from somewhere. There's nothing like going into a shop that you feel like you might want to cut at once you get out of barber school, and then you go get a haircut there, and it's one of the worst experiences that you've ever had, or an incredible experience. It could be something that you feel like you're not even ready for. So there can or cannot be a guarantee. Go out there, reach out, experience what it's like to be a barber. Even go sweep at some barbershops, because there's barbershops that I've swept at, and they actually, some of the barbers will pay me just to come sweep and come and hang around, get that shop feel. And it's pretty fantastic. Also, when it comes to barbering school, there's like a contract that you have to sign, basically saying that because you are paying this amount of money, you have to be here for this amount of time. And if you go over that, my school actually charges $5 an hour for every hour that you're over your contract. So basically, my school goes for 6 hours a day, you're paying $30 an hour. Or you'll be paying $30 a day just to attend school. You don't want to be paying $150 a week just because you went over your schedule. Discipline when it comes to barber school is getting in there every day, knowing that every day you're in there, you're one step closer to becoming a barber. $4,500 for 18 months of barber school. And if you do the math, you can figure out how many hours you need every week, or every month, or forever, for how so long. And then when it's coming to your time to when you're ready to get out of there, you'll realize that you're actually under contract, and that you could have finished in June, but instead you're finishing in April, or you're finishing in March. It's all about getting in there, staying in there, getting your time done, getting the heck out of there as quick as you can. While you're in there, learn as much as you can. Pick the brains of your instructors, because that's what they're there for. Ask them any question, because no question asked is a dumb question.
Alright then, y'all, this concludes this video. It's Andre Classic Cuts. We got Justin. Hey, let them know your Instagram.
My Instagram is Millennial Cuts, at Millennial Cuts. That is MILLENNIAL Cuts. That's my Instagram. That's my barber Instagram. I may not have some work up there right now, but as I transition out of barber school and more so into the barbershop, barbering field, I will be expanding my my barber portfolio. All right.
That's it. You heard it here first. Until the next video.
You.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to your boy Andre Classic Cuts, and make sure y'all hit that bell right there so y'all be notified every single time I drop new heat. And more importantly, I'm always on like Twitter or Instagram, but mostly Instagram, and I try to like follow back every single person, and I drop pictures of my cuts on a regular basis. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you back instantly. And I'm out.